Alright, this is gonna be a slightly different video than what I usually do. Normally I just sit here and record the games, then upload them. The ones that I think at least look cool, but I don't really think I'm that great of a player, and I do get lucky a lot. And it may seem that way because I just upload the really cool ones, but it's pretty important to remember that not all your games on ladder are gonna be great. But for this, I'm just gonna show two games. I went into rated because I usually delete all my replays, but I got like 2 comments asking for me to do like commentary or explain the thought process or whatever of how I usually play, so that's what this video is gonna be, and I hope it helps for the 2 people who asked. Also, I'm sorry that because when I checked the YouTube analytics and stuff, I noticed a lot of my viewers are from like foreign countries, so I'm really sorry that this video is going to be English. I can really only understand like some Spanish and some Japanese, and I'm not really that great at speaking Spanish. Like I can't speak Spanish at all, and I can only like speak slight Japanese, but I'll just go into the video now. So usually when I play, the first thing I do is I look at how many cards they're playing. So we see this player, 35 cards, and now that's not really gonna assume anything. We just go for now, see what they do. Okay, they summon a Dark Beckoning Beast turn 40, so I just assume it's either Yubel or Sprite Yubel. And a lot of the current Sprite, or the current Yubel lists on rank, they either run Sprite Carrot, I think that's the one that negates spells and traps, but they do it for board breakers, or they run Ibly, and then they summon Ibly and they Ibly lock you. Now, the current list I have, it does have Lingaribo, because I did see it a few times, so it's kind of helpful to get the Ibly off the field. But now, suppose you didn't have the Lingaribo. Starting with Dark Beckoning Beast is a really weak play. Usually if you imperm, there's like a good chance they stop their turn, but they could also have an extender like Nightmare Throne or something. But the issue with that is usually they want to start with Nightmare Throne because Yubel does run Gamma. So the fact that this guy did not start with it, like to at least threaten Gamma, tells me he doesn't have Nightmare Throne. So based on all this information, I'm just gonna use the imperm here. And I don't, like normally I would save it for Appaloosa, but I think this hand is insane. And if I get Ibly locked, I do have the Lingaribo to link it off. So I'll just continue for now. So he has 1-for-1 and he discards Ash. That instantly tells me he has Ash in hand, because there's no way you pitch Ash. Because like, if I chain Max C here, you're probably fucked. Now, I don't run Max C, that's gonna be like a whole completely different thing on why, but we'll just continue for now. So he goes into Samsara Lotus, and now he does his usual Yubel nonsense. He sets the Nightmare Pain, pops the Spirit probably, gets the Squirmer, this summons Yubel from deck, this probably pops Yubel, brings out Terror Incarnate, and he goes into Sprite Elf. Now this here, this tells me it's probably an Ibly or Sprite Carrot. I don't know if it's Red or Carrot, it's the one that negates spells and traps, but it's one of those variants. Because usually you'd go like Yama here or something, and he goes into Phantom of Yubel. Now he does have Nightmare Throne. I think this is a really weird way to play it, because normally you'd want to start with that, so you could like threaten Gamma, see like what they do and things like that, but I guess this is fine. Like he could have a different thought process, I wouldn't think of it like that, but we'll just see what he does. So he pops the Spirit from deck, it summons the Yubel, he brings back the Beckoning Beast, and he goes into Yama. Yama probably adds Shavara, and after this does the Squirmer, probably brings back Yubel, or Phantom, is it Spirit or Phantom? I don't know. It's the Spirit, Phantom is the extra deck one. And now he goes into Gigantic. Now at this point I think it either summons Ibly or the Carrot, and then he goes into Anguish. This part here I don't like, there's probably something different you could do, but I'll just let him do his combo. This is just like a demo game anyway. You can't really choose what your opponents do on ladder. So we'll just let him do his combo however he knows how to do it. And he summons the... Okay, Cat Red is the one that negates. Now, he gets the Lotus back to hand, so at this point I know every single card that he has available. This is the Unchained Trap. I'm pretty sure it pops one of my cards. Yeah. And in his hand is Samsara Lotus and Ash Blossom. Or at least, I can assume that, because there's no way you pitch Ash and you go for a special summon. And Yubel kills itself in the end, and now we go to my turn. Now I draw Thrust. That's a really insane draw. So, looking at my hand, I instantly think I can Lightning Storm this board. That would instantly force the carrot, or I could Duster the back row. But my hand is actually not that great into the back row here, because I do lose to the thing popping Hayate or Ray or whatever. So I do have to blow up his back row. So we're just gonna start with Lightning Storm, or Duster rather. Because if he doesn't, if I start with Lightning Storm and he negates it, I can Duster again. But like suppose he like somehow lets this through, I guess that would be fine. But he decides to save his back row. Like if he let it through, I would still have Lightning Storm for the monster. So that's why I played it like that. Now the next thing is obviously that gets negated. So now I know he has Ash, so I'm gonna do the tactics to draw 2 because I want it to look like I have a weak hand. And if I have a weak hand, like Duster, I don't have a play, and I'm going for the draw 2, it very much looks like a weak hand, at least in my opinion. Because there's no way you don't save the tactics to steal. So we'll see what happens, and it does get the Ash out of his hand. I could have hand ripped it either way, but I like the fact that this shows that or at least it makes it look like I'm in a desperate situation. So after this, I'm probably just gonna Lightning Storm the back row. I think that's what I did, yeah. And now, in a situation like this, it depends on your list. You could search Raigeki or something, but I don't run that. At this point, I just search a second engage. So I search Ray, and then I probably search Anchor. I get an Ash Blossom. Now that's an insane draw because his last card is Lotus. So I do have Ash for his turn. And I'll probably like save it because I want to play around Gamma or something if I can clear all of this. So at this point I'm just going to search the Widow. And an important thing to do here is that I can't leave this on board and I can't leave this on board, so I have to get rid of them. These two are pretty much vanillas at this point, so I probably just steal these two. It was lucky to draw a Widow, but there are other ways to mostly clear this, but the Widow really simplifies it. So I take those two, and I summon Ray. At this point you just go into Hayate, or I guess the ordering really doesn't matter at this part. But I don't have to worry about Nib or anything because I know the last card is Lotus. And the board is pretty much broken. I think I pretty much won the game at this point. So you get Engage back. And there are a lot of ways to clear this. I go for Hayate just to get the 15 damage. I could have done more, but like the way I wanted to do it, I still wanted to get the 15 damage. Like I could have done SP plays or something. But then Hayate can't attack directly, so I'm just gonna do that in main phase 2. Because it's not about... Well, I guess it's slightly about the damage because I want to close it out fast to reduce the chances of him top decking something good. But I think the game's just won, so it doesn't really matter. So at this point I dump Rose because something very important, I think Rose is actually one of the best board breakers the deck has. Because when this gets removed by an effect, I just summon Rose. She's just like extra extension to go into SP, Azalea, Zeke, and Dark. After that, I just go main phase 2. I forgot what I did here. Okay, I go SP. Now I could banish the Anguish, but I don't think it's time to do that yet. It's very important to get rid of Yama. So like he doesn't get something back, specifically the blue dog. I don't want that thing coming back. So I'm just gonna banish the Yama. It's gone, nothing to worry about anymore. And then we just banish the Anguish, and then Rose would come back, and that enables plays for either Dark or what is it? Dark or Azalea. So I forgot what I did. I think it's Dark? No, it's Azalea. I popped the carrot, and now at this point, I think it's over. So I just summon Shizuku, engage for multi-roll, you get a free draw. Now the Widow is lucky, but it doesn't really matter. The game's already over. And I get a Shark Cannon. Like there's other stuff you can grab here, but at this point I'm playing pretty sloppy, I think. I forgot what I even get rid of. Probably the U-Bell. I should probably get rid of this though, because in case he top sticks Spirit Gates or something. But I get rid of the U-Bell. And I think I just said a Widow. Okay, so I have 2 Widows. I know one of his last card is Lotus. So now he does have an Unknown, and I do have to worry about the Phantom. So he goes for the Lotus. Now I don't know what this last card is. I don't want to lose to me stealing and then I can't use the last Widow. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna negate this, force him to link it off or something, and then I'm going to see what happens from there. So he links it off, goes into Muckraker. Now, at this point, I could just negate this, but Muckraker does discard, so I want that last card out of his hand. So I'm gonna let him discard, summon the Lotus, and now at this point I could worry about Typhon, but I don't really care. I could let him use the effect and then just Ash it, or I could just Widow it. It doesn't matter, the game's over. And I guess he's just attacking or something, and he gives up. I'm not sure how much that helped, but that's really how I think about U-Bell, or at least that game specifically with the hand I had. It's already 12 minutes. So I'm gonna show this other replay. This one I think is a bit long. But I'm just gonna see how this one went. I hope the mic is also really clear. I don't usually talk much on the microphone. So next, see a 37 card deck. That instantly tells me it's like Rescue Ace or some fire deck, because those are the ones that usually run this many cards. Or at least, I mean 42, not 37, but it's probably Rescue Ace, or at least that's the first thing I think. And into Rescue Ace, I think my hand is like really not that good. It could also be U-Bell, I see them go over 40 sometimes. But this is a really bad hand into Rescue Ace, or I guess it's fine into U-Bell because I have Change of Heart for Appaloosa, but I'm just gonna see what he plays and stop thinking about it for now. So he goes Poplar. This tells me absolutely nothing. But he does Search Temple, so this makes me think it's a pure Snake Eye deck. The fact that he really didn't search what do you call it? Original really makes me think it's pure, because also pure only runs this, but it also tells me he has original in hand. So I know one of the cards is original, and we'll just see what he does from there. He goes Linkuriboh, puts the thingy back, and he does original, send Poplar. So now, I assume he's just gonna summon Ash, search Poplar, Poplar summon itself, then do whatever they usually do. But the weird thing here is that, because when this happens, I usually think they would put like Oak there, which is why I found it weird. So he does wind up summoning the Hydrant out the deck. At this point, I'm just confused. I think this is like a really weird, non-standard list. But the important part is that you have to be prepared no matter how many questionable deck choices your opponents have in Master Duel. Like, you have to be prepared to play around anything. You can't just say like, oh, this guy is running a shit deck, how am I supposed to expect that? So we'll just see what he does from here. Now he summons the Lifter, and he already used that, so I guess he's just gonna search he's gonna search either the Feel spell or one of the quick plays, I don't know. Searches alert, activates alert, searches that guy. I'm sorry, the rescue ace combos are pretty boring. He gets his 4 back row. What did he set? Was that a second alert? It was rescue, emergency, extinguish, and contain. I guess that's standard. Well, setting that one's not standard, but whatever. We'll just let him do whatever he wants. So he makes an SP. He goes preventer. And honestly, this is looking like a pretty grim situation. Because if he's smart, the moment I put an ace on the board, he just SPs it, and then I pretty much lose. So I think this game really comes down to my opponent misplaying. But I do get a Widow Anchor for the SP, so it's not that bad anymore. So we'll just see what happens. I think I start with Rhoda, because that's the most logical thing. Yeah, I start with Rhoda, and I summon Ray. No, I do Change of Heart on Turbulence. Now, I could have summoned Ray, but I guess I just wanted this off the board. Like to see if he tries to set it or misplays. You can never count your opponent out for misplaying in this game, by the way. Also, if I was taking this and he wanted to do what's the one? This one. Because that would instantly reveal one of the back rows, and in case it ever comes down to guessing where back rows are, it would be good to have one of these forced, so at least I know, or at least I have a higher chance of hitting one of the traps, which is why I started with Change of Heart. There are other ways to play this though. Now he does activate Temple, summons the Flamberge. I don't really think that matters too much. I just go to Kaina in case he decides to use the trap or anything. Now, the reason I did this is if he uses the one that negates and prevents me from using it as link material, I can summon Hamp over it. Although it's still not that great, we'll just see what happens. He doesn't do anything. I could have lost right there. But a lot of the time with Striker, you have to put your opponent on not knowing what you're doing. And I think that was a situation where I did that. So now I link them off, and I'm pretty sure I send either Rose or Engage here. So I try to send something and he does that. So obviously I have to change chain linkage, or I can't use this as material. He chains SP and I have the Widow. So I've pretty much forced out I've forced out most of the meaningful back row. There's one more, the one that destroys my monster, then I can't use the effects, but I think that one's really not that important as Striker. This is the dangerous one. So obviously I tag out, I get the engage I just sent, and now we'll see what I do. I think here I search... I think in this situation I would search, there's a lot of things you could search here, but I think I go with multi-roll. And I get very lucky and I draw the talent. But I think in this situation you have to try to get lucky, because what I want to do is end on, what do you call it? Multi-roll and Eagle Booster so I don't die. So I do this, I draw a 2, I get Afterburner and Rose. Now that's really good. I go to pop the SP. Now it's important to remember here, don't try to pop Rescue Ace stuff because they can just chain the one that tributes, then you don't get to pop a back row. I could have popped Flamberge too because he doesn't have 2 level 1s there. And he doesn't chain back row, and I think that's correct probably. Now I get the emergency, that's kinda good for me. It stops follow up kinda. I could have popped this, but I don't think that matters. And I summon Hamp over the Flamberge. I could have banished the Flamberge, but he didn't have anything, so I thought I might as well just get rid of it. And now I go for Hayate and I go Battle Phase. Oh, I summon Rose. Yeah, in case he pops. And I try to swing, I think. And he pops it. And now Ray comes back. Yeah, because the reason I summoned Rose is because I knew if I pop it, he could steal Ray. So at least I still have a body here. I just attack for no reason really, and I go into Shizuku. And at this point, the winning play would be like just, at least in my opinion, assuming he's not running Goddess, would be to just search Eagle Booster and stall a turn. But I do this to draw 2. And I get kinda lucky. I draw the Ash for the field spell so he can't recycle all his traps if I live the turn. And I have Ray for follow-up if he gets rid of my Shizuku, so those were pretty good draws. A Widow Anchor would have been better, but you gotta take what you can get, you know? At end phase, I do what I was talking about. I do search the Eagle Booster, then set it. And I think, I could only do 2. So at this point, we just, if he tries to now it's important because if I use the Eagle Booster early and he does run Goddess, I just lose. So I want to, I want to wait as late as possible and Eagle Booster my Shizuku and then see what happens. He searches Lifter, summons Lifter, and he doesn't search the field spell. Now that tells me it's either in his hand or he's probably not running it. So we'll see what happens. He does this to set the trap. And when he did that, I could have done this, so it would be like protected. But I thought I could also just Eagle Booster one of his monsters and Chain Widow to steal it, and he can't get past that. And this way I could also, if he does like Link Ray off and pop this, I can like try to Kagari back the engage. So I think this is fine to wait. And he used his normal, and I know he has Ash in hand now. He's just doing his Link climbing garbage. I'll just let him do this, and he does have Goddess. So I think at this point, with Ash in my hand, I don't ever lose because I think someone like him would probably just try to Nightmare Phoenix one of my sets and then I can Ash it because it'll be co-linked. That's usually what they do. Now if he was like a really good player, he would do the Nightmare Phoenix not co-linked so I can't Ash and he plays around that, but you just, you gotta take what you can get. And he does do the misplay of this, so now that does open him up to Ash. Now I could have saved the Ash in case he had the field spell, but the fact that he searched whatever that was tells me he probably doesn't play it, especially if he's running Temple for whatever reason. Also, a lot of lists don't even run the Rescue's field spell, so I just felt pretty safe at this point. He does more of his summoning and Link climbing and all that. He goes into Princess and he tries to use the Princess. So at this point, I have to use this on the Princess and then chain the Widow, because now it's unaffected and stolen, if you do it in this order at least. So the Princess is never getting off the board unless he has like a second Goddess or some shit. And I think that pretty much ends it. I reset Engage and Burner. I could have set this too in case he had Veiler, but I didn't feel like it because I know his last card is Ash. So now I just normal Ray, he does this because why not? Like actually that is correct because then I get the free multi-roll on Ray. So I mean it doesn't matter since he doesn't have responses anyway, but whatever. And at this point it's just cleaning up the board. I decide to pop the Princess to his Temple, then just go battle phase, take his 2 monsters, and he should have done this at the start of the battle phase to save him some damage, but it really doesn't matter, the game is over. And goes down to 1,000, I link these off, and I banish this so he doesn't get his floaty effect. Search, I get Engage, probably search, I know his card in hand is Ash, so I have to get rid of this shit. Search Shark Cannon to get rid of the Karibo, get another Ash, banish his Karibo. And now when Widow comes back he doesn't have any dodges for the Ash if he chooses to normal summon it. And he did shuffle the Flambridge back, so Ash would be pretty annoying, honestly. So he does this, doesn't really do anything. Normal's the Ash, I Ash it now. I could have stolen it, but I don't know what his last card could be. You always gotta be pretty careful. And he just attacks, probably giving up. And that was just another game. Let me see. What else can I do? Oh, I can also go into the deck for it. Now, this is the other thing. Now this list, honestly, there's a lot I should change because Voiceless is in the game now and it's pretty popular. These would probably have to go, and Lightning Storm is insane against Voiceless, so I'd probably add those. I don't like having too many breakers, so Heavy Storm should probably go. And you could run something else, but I'm running this because I do see a lot of Ibly, Ubel decks. And then I don't know what the other last cards I would run, but this is how I probably would make this look in a more Voiceless meta. Normally I don't like running multiple cards that are hard once per turn like Lightning Storm, but Voiceless, they do negate activations and this card's really good against them, so I'd probably do something like this. This card is really not that great, but I think it's fun. If you want to be optimal, you should probably get rid of it. And you could also get rid of Cyanos, but I do like the plays she enables. I think that's pretty much it. I could run Access Code or Amblo Will or something really, but I don't feel like it. They don't really come up that too much. I think this extra deck's pretty good. And I hope this video helped for the 2 people who asked for help on how I think in these games. Now, a lot of games aren't like that either. Like, my games, I at least try to take the cool looking ones, and it probably makes me look like a better player than I am because I show all the cool games, not all the really basic games where you don't really have much choice over how stuff goes, you know? But I think I don't know if I'll do more videos like this, probably not. It's really exhausting talking this much, but I hope this helped for the people who asked. Also, what I do in game is really dependent on the decks I'm playing against and what I draw. I don't really have a set thought pattern. I think the most important thing as striker is just learning what your opponent is trying to do and learning how you would lose the game. Because if you can pretty much do those 2 things, you'll win a lot more games, I think. Oh, and the reason I don't run you could also cut the ashes and run Max C or something, or just go full board breaker, or just run some more hand traps or something like this, but this is all just preference. The reason I specifically choose Ash is because I don't want Max C happening when I'm trying to break a board, and I think it's just the best generic hand trap. And since I run stuff like Engage, this and this, if it gets called by it, it's kind of fine since they won't be ashing my important stuff. Now you could say I could run Max C, and then if it gets called by it, I don't get Max C'd. I guess that's also nice, but I think Ash or Max C in a list like this is just preference. And I don't think deck building matters as much in Striker. I do get comments saying, can I see your deck list? And I think how you play matters a lot more with Striker than how you build your deck, but because there's a lot of questionable stuff in the list I play, like those in the second thing of those, and you also don't need to run this, but I would say this is all just preference, so you should just play a list that you like and whatever works for you. So I hope this video helped for those people who asked. Probably won't do another one of these soon, but thanks for watching.